with everything that implies, that your implications.
And then you merge with Islam, now you have to merge with that. They're stealing our identities and then replacing it with death.
Yeah, with death, exactly. Bow down, don't say anything, forgive everything, be humble, and die. I mean, that seems to be the motto of globalism. And we the globalists are sitting in the steamroller, and we're coming down the street.
They're saying, it's our planet, we took it over, we're about to merge with machines and become gods, get ready, we're going to kill you. And they come out in publications every day now. We talked about this 20 years ago. John, no one would talk about it. And, oh, we're kooks. We were reading their own white papers. Now it's all over the news. The Earth can be so great once humans are gone, and elites, are going to merge with machines and become gods, but only after they kill you. And you're like, whoa, they're in the news saying this, but it's like, it's in New Scientist, and it's on CNN, like it's fun. Like, wow, you got to admit, it would be better without us on Earth.
Right. Let's all commit collective suicide as our final act of contrition and penance and so forth. And I've been following this whole, technocratic thing for a long time as well. The whole idea, like Ray Kurzweil and the...
I know you have. That's why I got you. That's why I raised you. Go ahead.
And the techies, the rise of the techies, the idea that they suddenly got into their heads that information itself is some kind of spiritual quality, and if we could just supply people with the right answers through shaping information and the right algorithms, then everything's going to be peaceful and fine on Earth. And the way to do that is to hook up the human brain to a massive supercomputer that's floating somewhere in space. I mean, they take this as obvious, and if you start to raise questions, wait a minute, you're saying that my brain can be connected to a computer, and what is this computer going to give me again? Answers to questions? I mean, how is that different from the priest class that ruled Egypt, or Stalin, or somebody else who's giving me answers? Even if they're supposedly the right answers, they're not my answers. I didn't come to those conclusions. I'm now going to be at the mercy of a computer? And then they say, well, yes, but it's not only that. See, maybe you want to play the piano. We can download that into your mind, too. Or you want to hit 60 home runs a year in pro baseball. We can do that for you. Or you want to leap tall buildings in a single bound. No problem, because the computer can give that to you. And people just sit there and go, boy, this sounds like a really great future. Are you kidding? I mean, can you think about this and how ridiculous? I mean, aside from being a total fascist setup, can you even start to think about how ridiculous that sounds? How is a computer going to do that for anybody? It's not. It's just another way to make slaves.
And we also have the UN pushing the Zeitgeist movement.
Wow. Ronnie Dio and the Red Caps, An Angel is Missing, from 1961. Fucking Dio from 61. What the hell? That sure is fucking too. Wow, look at there's Ronnie James Dio right fucking there. I'll be there. Kind of looks like a young Bela Lugosi in that picture a little bit.
Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah, man.
Huh. Go figure.
That's fucking nuts. Very dreamy.
That guy comes on my show and says, you'll be put in a re-education camp if you don't submit. Then he comes out and says, I'm a liar. It didn't happen when I have the clip. And then the UN and the New York Times start funding it, saying, yes, a computer will decide what you eat, where you live, what you do. Well, that's always been their model of technocracy. And then people say, oh, we'll be free. No, the globalist will program the computer. I mean, it's so obvious. And then people say, why are you attacking the freedom of zeitgeist? We won't have to work anymore. I mean, that's like telling me Obamacare was going to be free, John.
Right. We won't have to work anymore and we'll be free. And as you and I have discussed before, Alex, many people seem to have lost their capacity to even understand what the word freedom means. So you can now, as a propagandist, substitute anything you want to for the word freedom.
A computer making you a total slave and taking all your decisions away and running your life is freedom because it's fair.
Yeah, that's right. Suddenly, fair becomes free. Wait a minute, how did that happen?
And then who defines fair? And it's his word game.
Who defines fair? Exactly, it's that word game. Freedom is unlimited burgers at McDonald's. Is that what that means? In other words, if somebody says to me, you can eat free for the rest of your life, that's the same thing as me being free, having freedom.
And then you find out it's Monsanto and Bill Gates, and what they're feeding you is going to kill you.
Yeah, right. That's the punchline, right? Yeah, you're free to have all the goodies you want, and they will kill you. So now everything's good. So people don't even understand what the word means anymore. So if you say the word freedom...
Well, now they say, I have a right not to be offended, and so there's only small free speech zones on the colleges now, and they're only open a few hours a day, a few days a week. So see, you're in a free country in this little free zone that we license, that we can close. But the definition of a license is the authorization to do something that would otherwise be illegal, or a letter of marque given to you by the royalty.
Exactly. At Harvard Law School, which I wrote about this week again, there were people, these are supposed to be the best and the brightest college graduates, and they go on to the most prestigious law school in the country, Harvard. And what happened there? Students said that they didn't want to hear the word rape or violate, meaning does this conduct violate the law? Because either word could trigger them. These were like the most elite law students in the country talking to their professors.
Learning how to be basket cases.
Learning how to create yourself over in the image of a basket case, exactly. How do I become a victim? And these students were saying, well, rape law shouldn't even be taught in law school because it would be traumatizing and it would reduce the overall performance of the students. So now there's not even any pretense that there's education going on. It's not even, yes, we are. No, it's all about this propaganda campaign to encourage and nudge students over into thinking of themselves not just as victims, but endless victims.
And the only power they have is to go bully someone into doing what they say. I mean, it's like major universities have done things like Lynch Hall, named after a liberal patron that built the hall 50-something years ago. But the Attorney General agreed with it and said, yes, you need to change the name. It's hurtful because of lynching. And then her name is Loretta Lynch. I mean, it's like people screaming at you like, you're an effing white male and they're a white male. I want to play this clip since you mentioned the technocracy. It's a good one, I know. Tom Scott's got a great YouTube channel breaking this down. The virtual hell of uploading yourself into a machine, and then they zap the bad memories, which means your true memories and consciousness. And this is what the military's looking at now. Zapping, that's a lobotomy, folks. High-tech lobotomies for the troops. Here it is.
Welcome to life. We regret to inform you that your previous existence ended on January the 14th, 2052, following a road traffic accident. However, your consciousness was successfully uploaded to the Life Network by your primary care provider. You may be experiencing some confusion. Please remain calm. Life contains over 30,000 unique activities, networking with millions of other digitized minds, and the ability to contact undigitized friends and family. Please accept these terms and conditions in order to continue life. Your attention is particularly drawn to Section 2, Usage Rules and Limitations, Section 9, Privacy, and Section 11, restricted mental activities. Thank you. Please select a life plan. Tier 1 is our premium offering, allowing full uninterrupted simulation of your pre-terminal state. It includes unlimited modification of your body plan, accelerated learning and recall, and full personal backup facilities. Tier 2 is our advertiser-supported offering. It contains many of the features of Tier 1, but at a significantly reduced cost. Some areas of the environment, such as the sky, may be replaced with targeted advertising, and your personal brand preferences may be altered to align with those of our sponsors. Tier 3 is our value offering. Thanks to our commercial partners, your experience at this tier is unlimited. However, some activity sensors and visual rendering options may be subject to a fair use policy. More complicated mental processes, including subconscious thought, creativity, and self-awareness, may be rate limited or disabled at times of significant server load. Thank you. Your stored mind contains one or more patents that contravene the Prevention of Crime and Terrorism Act of 2050. Please stand by while we adjust these patents. Your stored mind contains sections from 124,564 copyrighted works. In order to continue remembering these copyrighted works, a licensing fee of $18,000 per month is required. Would you like to continue remembering these works? Thank you. Please stand by. Welcome to life. Do you wish to continue?
TomScott.com. We'll get Tom Scott on Amazing Works, his YouTube channel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I first envisioned this probably 15 years ago because I knew that they could go out randomly with bots, target things on third-party platforms, and just have them deleted with no due process. And then when Shazam came out a decade ago, when you could hold up your so-called smartphone when they first came out at the mall or wherever, what's that song? It would tell you in like 10 seconds. I remember thinking, they're going to use that to go out and find copyright music and stuff. Of course, they were. And then I realized they could go out with these bots, pick up my voice algorithm, and erase me across the web under a globalist system if they're able to get all these draconian anti-free speech regulations and treaties in place. Now, 2016, they hand the web over to the UN next month. The UN is admitting they're going to be shutting people down worldwide if they even criticize radical Islam, you name it. YouTube has put out new terms of service saying we'll demonetize you anytime the community complains, and our diversity specialists say so. And these are diversity specialists that will certify. Pardon me? You were popping the mayor, what were you saying? There, CJ?
Sorry, I was communicating with John Harmon, GCN.
Oh, sorry, you had a pot up in the network. Sorry, they were talking. Anyways, it's fine. We're teleprompter free. It's live radio. We're talking to folks at the network. Now, continuing. They just erase your voice all over the web, boom, like that. And now they're actually talking about doing that. And then here's an example. Joe Rogan had been on my show probably 30, 40 times over the years. And all of a sudden, our YouTube channel was shut down. And I went in there, and it was all these copyright strikes that I had Joe Rogan on. It wasn't music, it was him talking to me, but they had monetized, he signed an agreement that he didn't fully understand, his spoken word. And so I was being hit for copyright for having a conversation with him in studio. And he had to have the copyright group working with YouTube go and switch all that off. So what I'm getting at is, when you just saw that terms of service piece from 2012, with a theoretical system in the future, that's actually what Ray Kurzweil's talking about. And that's what happens when you upload your, quote, photos, your documents to the cloud. You're opting in to give them everything you already are, and you can see the premeditated architecture and nurture of this. John Rappaport.
It's well, that is the idea. You establish this huge commons, you want to call it, where information is everywhere and so forth and so on, and then you see that behind that is the intent to control, rule, absolute control of all of it. We can delete this, we can delete that, we can take this out, we can add that. In fact, we can claim
Well,
that
that
this person over
concludes
here
the first
actually
part
said
of it.
this